Hey friends, and welcome to the Ponds Farmhouse. I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to be sharing a fun Dollar Tree craft with you. Do you like to decorate for Valentine's Day? I usually don't do a whole lot, but I like to have a few little touches of romance around the house, but I wanted to do it on a budget-friendly way. So I went to Dollar Tree, picked up a few things that I thought we could use today. One is this little wooden cutout heart. I picked up this little wall tile piece here that looks like punch tin. And then I also picked up some little wooden hearts. I have a few other little supplies that I've already had on hand, but we're going to take all this that's going to probably cost less than $5 and convert it into a really cute little door hanger, or you could hang it on the wall, hang it off of a shelf. So I'll show you all the ways that I'm going to decorate with it. But let's get started. I'm going to bring the camera down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Hey, the very first thing is I'm going to go ahead and remove this jute hanger, and we're going to set it aside because we can put this back after we finish working on this project. But we're going to take this wooden heart and this wall tile that we've purchased, and I'm going to trace the back side of it onto the tile so that I can cut that out. I'm using a Sharpie here because this is a slick surface and it would kind of bleed out if it wasn't a permanent marker. The key here is you want to cut inside the line because you want this to fit just evenly around the edges of that wooden heart. So you don't want it to be bigger than the heart itself. So I just was real careful to cut right along the inside of the line, and that way when we apply it to the wooden heart, it's going to be just perfect. We hope anyway. So what we're going to do is first of all get this all cut out, and then we're going to go ahead and attach it to the little Dollar Tree wooden heart. These are just so economical. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use some hot glue. This says it is an adhesive, but I couldn't tell that it would stick to anything. So you want to make sure that it's trimmed up nicely, and then just go ahead and add some hot glue. What I did was I went all the way around all the edges of the heart, not right on the exact edge because you don't want it to spill out, but then just put a little bit in the middle. You don't need it completely covered. And then lay your towel back on it and press it down. It's just that quick and easy. Now, you could just go ahead and finish it off right now, but I've decided to do something different. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and determine where the holes are for that jute hanger. So I'm just punching those back in with a little ice pick here. And now we're ready to go ahead and add some of these decorative beads. These are little half-round beads that I have used on several different projects. My most notable one is the hobnail lamp that I made that looks like a Ballard design lamp. It turned out so good. That's where I started with these beads, but I've used them on some mirrors. I've used them on a lot of other things, and I just really like them. So what I'm doing is just taking a little bit of hot glue and just applying it in dots all around the edges. I don't have a ton of these little beads left over, so I'm spacing mine out. Now, if you've got a brand new pack, by all means, I would just put them right up against each other, but I think it's going to be fine with them spread out, and then that way I'm ensured that I can get enough to go all the way around this little primitive heart that I'm making here. So we're going to get those all put on there, and then the next step is just to go ahead and paint it. I'm using some white chalk paint, and the white chalk paint, you just want to go all over the whole surface of it, all in between all of those little beads. And then I've also got these little decorative hearts that came from Dollar Tree as well. These are the ones that did not have a finish on them, and I'm just adding some white chalk paint to those as well. And I'm doing front and back with that. Then once you have all of these completely finished, then you do want to let everything dry. And you can use a hair dryer if you want to dry them up a little bit quicker. And then you just want to put in a second coat. You just want to have a really good coverage on here. I didn't really want any of that silver shining through on mine. And then we're putting a second coat on the little cutout hearts as well. Okay, and we're moving right along. I'm using some clear wax and some dark wax here. The reason I'm doing that is because the dark wax will grab, so we want to kind of mix it in with some of the clear to make it more smooth and even over the edges. We just want a little aging to the heart. We're making it look like a primitive heart. So I'm just rubbing this all around just real lightly with a paper towel. And we're going to buff that out when we get done. But you want to go ahead and just kind of hit the highlights of it. It's just going to make those raised areas that are on this tin really stand out so you can see the detail much better. And you'll notice I'm just kind of wiping as we go. You don't have to be too particular about this, but you just don't want it too heavy to begin with. It's much easier to build it up gradually than it is to try to take something off after you've gotten it on there too heavy. So just remember to always mix your wax if you can, so that you don't get that strong coverage to begin with. But you'll notice I just put it onto the wax paper and blended it together to get that look. So it doesn't take a whole lot of wax, so you don't need to mix up a big batch of it or anything like that, because then you're just going to be wasting it. Now I'm also going to do the same thing with the little decorative hearts that we painted. I had a little bit too much on the paper towel, so I'm just kind of adding more to the outer edges of the bigger heart, and then I'll come back to the smaller ones. But just the same technique, just go all over it with the wax and get it to give them an aged look. And then you could actually, if you would prefer, you could use something like rub and buff on this to give it like a gold texture. I'm doing mine a very primitive looking heart door hanger, so I did not want to use the gold on it, but that would also be a really pretty finish. You could also paint this red or pink and do the gold finish on it, or use the wax like I'm doing as well, and it would be a very pretty finish. But now I'm doing some of these little pink and red hearts as well that I'm going to be using. I'm going to kind of make like a little tassel for the middle of this, so you'll see as we go along what I'm using those smaller ones for. Now here I'm just buffing it out, taking off any excess wax and giving it a little bit of a shine by buffing it. Once it has set up, you want to kind of buff it and take off the excess, and then you'll get that kind of shimmer on your finish that looks really pretty. Okay, so now I'm going to put together these little hearts that I've done. Now these were the package of small hearts from Dollar Tree. They had unfinished ones and some that are painted pink and some that are painted red. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking one of the little small jute twine strings, putting it onto the center of the heart, and then putting one of the smaller hearts over the top of it. I'm doing 3 of these to hang down over the middle of the door hanger here. So it's kind of like a little, I call it like a little heart tassel. But just go ahead and make sure you get that jute twine right in the very center. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the jute twine on, and then I'm adding one of the pink hearts over the top of it. And then once I get this on, I'll be turning those over, and we're going to add the red heart to the back. And that way you can, if they flip over, when you've got them on a hanger like that, especially if you're using them outdoors, the wind will catch them. That way both sides are finished, and it looks really pretty that way. Okay, now we're ready to put that jute twine hanger back on. So I'm just running it through the original hole here and locking it into place. I considered using a wire here to hang it, but with all the things I had going on, I thought it wouldn't really matter what the hanger looked like. So I'm just using the original hanger that came on the wooden heart. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little heart tassels that I made, and we're going to tie them onto the jute twine. So that they can kind of hang down from the hanger. And what I've tried to do was do each one of them at a different height so that you would have them all visible when you see it on the hanger. So that's what I did. You'll notice that I'm checking it each time to make sure that it's hanging exactly how I want it to. And this one's a little too short, so I'm going to take it right back off and just lengthen it down just a little bit. And I think I'll be happier with it if they're hanging more closely together. So I've got that worked out. And we're just going to go ahead and cut away any excess string on here so that it's not visible. And I'm going to make a little jute bow to go on it. The very first time I did it, it didn't look good just trying to tie it on, so you'll notice I'm experimenting with it here. But I eventually got it the way I wanted it to look. It took me a few minutes. I also experimented with a rag bow with some old fabric strips, and that turned out really cute too. So I'll try to show you a picture of that. But the very first thing that I did was with the jute twine, and I'm going to try hanging it here in this gallery wall with this old window, and I think that it looks really cute there. My original thought was that I was going to hang it here on my pantry door. I love the fact that it's got this old chalkboard on it, and I really like it here. I think it looks good, but I may like it best here. This is, I've added the rag bow to it with some old strips of fabric here. I've got architectural pieces, lots of vintage here. So I think this may be its permanent home. What do you think? Thank y'all so much for watching.